Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today is part 3 of the Hasbro stock defensive lineup marathon battle video that we have been doing on the channel. If you haven't seen part 1, part 2, go watch those. They are definitely long, but they're entertaining, needless to say. Here's a recap from part 1 and part 2. Night Helm with 7 wins, 4 losses. Lance with 8 wins, 3 losses. Rhino, 8 wins, 3 losses. Arrow, 7 wins, 4 losses. Starscream, 4 wins, 7 losses. And Knife Shinobi sitting at a total of all losses, 0 wins. So yeah, with that being said, we've got all the bays right here. We'll continue off where we left off. So let me get these bad boys going. And yeah, let's get going on this video. I hope you guys have had a great week. Mine hasn't been too bad. It's been steady and stable, which is always a good thing. So yeah, with that, I hope y'all are having a good week, a good work week, a good summer vacation for all of you who are all on summer vacation. And I hope you are all excited about the, essentially the shadow, basically the shadow drop for Wave 5, essentially. It just came out of pretty much left field. Like for a lot of us were expecting it next month. But I know a lot of YouTubers were saying that, oh, it could drop this month, it could drop June. But a lot of us honestly were expecting it to start dropping in stores next month. With this wave, there are also 2 shadow drops, which I didn't expect to see. I purchased those shadow drops on Amazon. They should be here this week, and we will do a video on those as well. So with that being said, let's get things started. Our next bay is Tail Viper, starting things off battling against Helm Knight. I don't know if that's foreshadowing, but and Stadium Ejection, no points. 3, 2, 1. And 2 wins for Helm. We will count it. There was contact to 2 points for Tail. And 2 wins for Helm. That is 4 points. Helm wins. Moving on to Lance. 480 high needle versus 380 high needle. And 2 wins for Viper. All right, we're starting things off at a good pace. Okay, now we're not. Don't know what happened there, but 3, 2. Oh, that's those are no wins right there. One point, Tail. Finally, our first round. 3, 2, 1. 2 points, Knight. Very nice. Well, Lance. Lance hitting underneath Viper. And Viper 1 point, tying it up to 2-2. 3, 2, 1. I feel like we'll relaunch that. I don't think that was really too fair. There we go. And Viper beats Lance. There we go. 1 win, 1 loss. Horn is up next. Well, Rhino is up next. 3, 2, 1. My boy Horn is just sitting stable. Little off to the side, but needless to say, just sitting stable. All right, Horn, 1 point. Viper does hop over Horn, but doesn't really do much. All right, Viper, 2 points. Last round. Unless Horn ties it up, then we go to the fourth. Nice. And Viper wins. Very nice. Moving on, Arrow Wizard. Let her rip. Both bays destabilized. So, like, I'm surprised Viper won. Go high needle, right? Okay. 3-2. No points. 3-4. An aerial battle goes to Arrow. 2 points. Ooh, we need this to stay in the stadium. And a burst. Very nice. Tied up. 2-2. Oh wait, no, Viper wins. Viper got 3 points. Yeah, because it got a stamina finish the first round. All right, now we're moving on to Starscream. Well, Starscream bullied Viper, and let's redo that. That was an extreme finish, and I go by, you know, we go by on this. We're going by the Hasbro rules, where if it's an immediate extreme finish, it's a move on to the next battle. But I don't know, I felt like I kind of guided that one, so we're just going to redo that. All right. Round 1 goes to Tail. Stamina finish. Beautiful launch. Beautiful launch. And Tail gets 4 points. Moving on to Shinobi. 3-2-1. And Shinobi takes an immediate loss. 3 points goes to Viper. Moving on to Gideon. Save the Beyblades. Save the Beyblades. Gideon gets a burst finish. All right, very nice. Stadium ejection, no points. You know, I hate how they got rid of burst priority, right? But a stadium ejection still is no points. That makes no sense. Let it rip. Very slow and controlled acceleration there. Is it going to go to Gideon this time? Viper, another singular point. 3-2-1. Time it looks like it's going to go to Gideon. Yep, Gideon gets a stamina finish. 3-2-1. And Moff Gideon winds up winning. There was contact right at the beginning, so. All right, now we're on to Bear. Bear gets a stamina finish. 3-2. Viper, stamina finish. So we we are tied 1-1 and a draw. So we go into the next round. And Bear gets a total of 4 points. Bear wins. Very nice. All right. Moving on, we have Sphinx. Stadium ejection. All right. 3, 2, 1. We get a draw. Stadium ejection. And a burst. We get a burst in the... We get finally 2 points for tail. 3, 2, 1. And another 2 points. Tail beats out Sphinx. Now we're moving into Shadow. 3, 2, 1. And Shadow has been eliminated. 2 points goes to Viper. Another 2 points goes to Viper. Same pocket too. Now we're going on to Obsidian. 3, 2, 1. Obsidian gets a burst. Very nice. Very nice indeed. 3, 2, 1. Followed by a overfinish. So our total points for Viper is, wherever I put my pen, Viper got 6 wins, 5 losses. So not too bad, pretty even. Could be worse. Could be knife. So now we're moving on to Gideon. Can Gideon make some good headway here? Helm. Gideon, stamina finish. And Knight, overfinish. Knight, overfinish. All right, moving on, we have Lance. All right. But Lance throws itself pretty much into an into an overfinish. 2 points getting 2 points, Lance. An immediate burst by Gideon. Very nice. Now we're doing Horn Rhino. 3, 2, 1. Stadium ejection. Stadium ejection. All right, let's go. All right, 2 points, Gideon. 2 points, Rhino. There we go. Don't get me wrong, those battles are fun whenever it's just a quick overfinish, a quick win, and a quick burst, but sometimes it's these battles. All right, Gideon beats out Rhino. Very nice. Moving on, Arrow. Arrow is taken out. 3 points goes to Gideon. Starscream. So for all of you who don't know, this is just a recap. This is the Extreme Pocket for the Bucket Stadium because the Extreme line matches up with this pocket. So just for all those who don't know. 2 points, Starscream, overfinish. Another 2 points, Starscream. Another overfinish. Starscream taking a win. All right, moving on. We have Knife. Gideon, 1 point. No points. That was actually pretty cool, though. Use that extreme line, just basically dodge. 2 points goes to Gideon. So Gideon, 1 point. 1 point goes to Gideon. So Gideon is at 2 points. One more round. Knife takes a loss. All right. We got Bear. Oh, wait, no, we don't. No, we don't. I went out of order. Sorry, guys. All right. Next up, we have Viper. 3, 2, 1. No points. Three, two, one. A draw. No points. Back-to-back draws. Gotta love it. Alright, this will be literally the first one to get a point. Because I ain't gonna do like 4 rounds. So the first one to get the point wins. And Gideon beats out Viper. Very nice. All right, now we're moving on to Bear. Very nice, very nice. We get an overfinish. Gideon just popping around in the stadium. 3, 2, 1. Stadium ejection on both days. So Gideon has an overfinish. And Gideon has 3 points. All right, so Gideon's going to beat Bear. All right, now we have Sphinx. An overfinish on Sphinx, so Gideon gets 2 points. Sphinx is holding onto that center, getting underneath Gideon. And Sphinx claims 1 point, 1-2. 3, 2, 1. There we go, there's a good launch. And Sphinx using the edge of the stadium to get more momentum for Life After Death. Oh, but Sphinx takes a dirt nap in the same pocket. All right, Sphinx loses. Come on, Shadow. Shadow gets 1 point. 3, 2, 1. Gideon gets 1 point, 1-1. Shadow gets 3 points, so Shadow actually beats Gideon by a total of 3 points, so 4 points for Shadow. Very nice. Last day, Obsidian. Both bays heavily tilted. Gideon does get underneath Shell to get that survivor finish, or stamina finish. Shell comes right back with a overfinish. And Gideon gets an overfinish. Very nice. All right, so Gideon got a total of 7 wins, 4 losses. All right, now we're moving on to Bear. Let me flip these bad boys over real quick so it makes it easier to keep track of here. So now we're moving on to our last bay for part 3. This is Bear. Starting things off, we have Helm. I wonder how that would actually work. Like so technically Helm would win because of the point difference, but would it only be 1 point though? All right, Helm got a stamina finish. I feel like Helm did get the burst, so we will be moving on. The only reason why I say Helm got the burst is because Helm was sitting right here as soon as Bear burst, and it seemed like the shrapnel pushed Helm into the pocket. I'm not saying that because burst used to have priority. I'm just saying the way it looked really seemed like Helm had actually beat out Bear. Now we have Lance. Lance gets a stamina finish. Why do I feel like this is going to be Shinobi? Lance still with 1 finish. Ooh, Bear getting that burst. Very nice. If Bear can get 1 more point, then yeah, we're cooking. We're cooking. It's already doing better than Shinobi. Well, nice. And we got 2 points again with a burst. Very nice. So already doing better than Knife Shinobi. Very nice. All right, now it's Horn Rhino. For 380 Spike versus 360 Spike. All right, we get a draw. There we go. Another draw. We have done the echo battle in the past between all three bears. So very nice. And in the third round, very nice. All right, so a bear takes out horn. Now we're moving on to arrow. 3, 2, 1. Arrow getting underneath bear. Arrow, 1 point, stamina finish. And bear gets 3 points. All right, moving on to, you know what? Yeah, because let's do one more round because that's only the second round. All right. Bear has 3 points. Arrow has 1 point. And it looked like Arrow got a stamina, but either way, Bear wins by 1 point. All right, now moving on to Starscream. Starscream getting that extreme finish. Bear loses. Moving on to Shinobi. Knife Shinobi, you guys. Can Knife Shinobi get a comeback here? Nope. Knife Shinobi goes into the over finish. That actually goes to Knife Shinobi. So what happened there is Knife Shinobi actually tilted and landed right here on this lip, and Bear went in first. So it actually does go to Knife Shinobi. Knife Shinobi and Bear are now tied up 2-2. Well, you know what? I'm gonna consider that a slop launch. We'll just relaunch that. Oh, bit release, and it comes off. Bear gets the burst finish. Oh man, Knife Shinobi just got destroyed. But it put up a good fight though. We did get a couple draws, and we did get a over finish, so not too bad. Now we're moving on to Viper. Now Viper should win this. Yep, draw. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Viper gets an over finish. Got them controlled launches going. Bear gets the burst finish. So we're tied 2-2. And actually that goes to Bear. That does go to Bear. Bear gets the burst finish there. Because Viper actually... So what happened, Bear was hanging out right here, and Viper's wheel came around and pushed Bear into the pocket. So that does go to Bear. Bear gets the burst finish. All right. Gideon. Gideon should get this. But that's what I said about Viper. Yep, Gideon, 2 points. 3, 2, 1. Gideon, 3 points. One last round. Can Bear get the extreme finish? Oh, Gideon almost got that. Oh my god, and it does! It does! Oh my gosh, we got that 1% chance. It is tied, you guys. And we're still tied. Both blades are not giving a single inch. Gideon just getting smacked in the face. And Bear gets 4 points, you guys. Oh my god, so great. All right, Bear beats Gideon, and now we're moving on to Sphinx. I kind of saw Bear losing to Sphinx, not gonna lie, but I didn't see it going out by extreme finish. All right, that was a quick match. Now we're moving on to Shadow Shinobi. Ooh, good hold on, Bear. No, and Bear goes down, stamina finish. He's got 2 players left. Come on. We need at least a win within these next 2 rounds. We're still 2-2. I mean, 2 points totaling for Shinobi. We need Bear to get an over finish. Nope, and Bear takes a loss. Shinobi wins by 1 point. All right, now we're going on to Obsidian Shell. We still only need 1 point, though. If Bear gets 1 point, then he ties with Lance and Rhino. This is definitely interesting. It's not. We got a burst on Obsidian. Yes. Good. Yeah, this is turning out a lot different so far than what I had expected. Let me tell you that. I thought it was going to be pretty even, the point scale. We get a stadium ejection. No points. So no points for Obsidian because of a stadium ejection. So it's still going to Bear. So it's another stadium ejection. Okay, Bear's down 1 point, you guys. Bear is down 1 point. Can he get that last burst or an over finish? See, the fact that he was able to get a burst on Obsidian was crazy. Nope, and Obsidian takes it 4 points total. Dang. All right, so we're sitting at 6 wins. Yeah, we're sitting at 6 wins, 5 losses for Bear. All right, you guys, so this will conclude part 3 of our defense marathon battle saga for Hasbro. I hope you guys are liking the content. We have part 4 and the conclusion coming up. So just to recap, we have Knight at 7 wins, 4 losses, Lance 8 wins, 3 losses, Rhino 8 wins, 3 losses, Arrow 7 wins, 4 losses, Starscream 4 wins, 7 losses, Knife 0 wins, 11 losses, Viper is 6 wins, 5 losses, Gideon 7 wins, 4 losses, and Bear is 6 wins, 5 losses. So with that, like I said, it's very staggered. It's not really all that even like I thought it would be. So it definitely is very interesting to see how this is going. So yeah, stay tuned for the final conclusive part, which is part 4. I hope you guys are enjoying this content. I have yet to see it been done, so I wanted to do something new for you guys. With that being said, thank you all for tuning in. Please continue to like, comment, and subscribe. It supports the channel and it helps me stay motivated to bring you guys new content. Because I love Beyblade and I know you guys do too. So yeah, let's continue that good Beyblade love there. With that being said, you guys, as always, 3, 2, 1, let it rip. Have a great evening.